Hello everybody and welcome to this part 4 of the Southern Pines in the Southern Pines 9-hole cup. And this video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, so let's go. I'm going to in this video show you two ways on how to play it here. One of the times we're going to go over to the right, one time we're gonna play on the left side. A more, one more aggressive line, one more conservative line, and I think that's important. This video is when I'm playing from the front tee, which is super important to have in mind as that is rookie in the mini tournament that is coming up. If you do want to get the text guys for the Southern Pines 9-hole cup and also the mini tournament as it's called, check out patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can find a link in the video description down below. So, okay, the drive here, we need to play 10% downhill, so we need to add to our adjustment, super important. Here I'm using a club that do give me a lot of, not a lot, but it gives me curl. It's an extra mile level 7, a little bit too high for playing a rookie, but the aggressive line kind of requires you to play with a club with curl. So if you have a very low level quarterback, it's better to play with a more higher level extra mile, for an example. But here would be absolutely perfect to play with a quarterback using, if so, a power 3 ball. So you can do basically, not basically, but you can do a lot of combos here. Like either you use a driver with more distance and you use a less power ball like I'm doing here with a power 1 ball, or you're using a power 3 ball and you play with a club that gives you less distance, but in that case gives you maybe a little bit more curl. So don't steer blind on the extra mile level 7. That shot is going to be very possible to be made with a quarterback in various levels. So okay, now for the approach shot, we're going to play with a wood club, and here you're going to pick the wood club that you feel the most comfortable with. I would prefer playing with a wood club that gives me a good accuracy and a good ball guideline. It's going to help, or it's going to be making the chance even bigger to drop this one in the hole for an eagle. If I didn't say it before, 10% downhill for the drive. We need to add with this shot towards the pin. We don't have to add anything, so we're just gonna play it as it is. And the good part by playing on the right side here, the more aggressive line as I would call it, is that we do give ourselves an open shot towards the pin. Like we do not have any bunkers in play, sure, on the left side, but we do have a more of a straight shot towards the pin. It's going to absolutely be super helpful if we're gonna try to get this ball in the hole. This is, though, a very tough par 4, so if you do not get the eagle, don't be mad at yourself. You're definitely going to be okay with just a birdie, as the majority of the player base is going to get a birdie here and not an eagle. I hit a great left, but still also coming in way hot, way hot. And even though if I would be going straight at the pin, I most likely would be going too far and bounce in and out from the hole. But here we do have, we do have the first try. We go on the right side here, and now we're gonna go and play on the left. And on the left doesn't really require that much. You could play that one in various type of combos as well. I would advise you to play with a driver that gives you a decent amount of distance, so you can actually choose to play with a ball that gives you a little bit less, so you don't have to spend a power 3 ball. So, and with this type of wind, and you can see the wind here, that is basically what decides which way we're going to play. If we do have any form of tailwind, or we're going to have crosswind left to right, the decision to go into the right side makes it easier. But when we do have a pretty strong right to left wind, or we do have in any form headwind which requires overpower, then we're gonna, at least I'm going to play conservative on the left side and just take myself to green, making the birdie. So here you can see I'm having a quarterback here as a club. I'm going to change, and I'm going to change to a quasar. You can see max topspin here 4.5, and you can see how much, I don't really have that much distance here with a quarterback. So in this case, it would be better to play with a power 3 ball. And because we can then stay away from having to overpower our shot. But you know, once again, if we do want to play with a power 1 ball and a quarterback, we kind of need to go with overpower, and then we will of course have to survive with that. It's not gonna be that huge of a problem, but you know, with overpower it's always going to be risky, as you know, if we completely miss left, completely miss right, we're going to put the rough and the sand in play big time. Because as you can see here, for our opponent's sake here, if we do get into the rough or into the sand with our drive, we will have no chance whatsoever to reach for the green in 2. When we do end up here, in rookie, we are not going to have those clubs that is going to give us a massive amount of curl, like for an example an upgraded sniper. With a club with curl, we could curl it around the bunkers and go to the green. But when we do not have that much curl, we will have to go for the rough bump to be able to get the ball to stop, especially if we're playing with a wood club. And now it's important that depending on the wind, if you're going to adjust down into the sand, or that you go from a higher point to a lower point, then you need to have that in mind, that it's going to be that the ball is going to go less distance than expected as you go from a higher point to a lower point, which is going to change your trajectory. The second shot there, you don't have to add anything. The first shot, you will have to add 10%. So, this was the whole guide for Southern Pines, hole number 4, par 4 in the Southern Pines 9-hole cup. If you did like the video and the content, take your time, hit thumbs up before you go. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the 9-hole cup.